The story begins in the year 1914 with a guy working in a historical museum named Milo. Milo was talking about ancient civilizations and saying that there was an ancient civilization named Atlantis and that it sank a long time ago and that they used to have a massive energy source. He asked the officials that he wanted an expedition from the museum so he could go look for the city of Atlantis. Then his phone rings, and they let him know that the meeting time with the museum board is right now. It turns out all of this that he was doing was just the rehearsal for the presentation he was going to give in front of them. But the museum board moved his appointment forward so he would come late and they could easily ditch him. It turns out that every year he would ask them for the exact same request, and they would also reject it. So he keeps running after the museum director. But the museum director tells him enough with Atlantis already, and told him that the museum funds expeditions, yes, but those based on facts, not on myths like yours. So Milo tries to make him understand that there is new evidence they found in Iceland, but he still doesn't listen to it, and this makes Milo submit his resignation to it. And the director, of course, doesn't believe it and accepts his resignation right away. Milo goes home and gets surprised that there is a woman sitting and waiting for him inside, and this girl took him with her, and her name was Helga. She lets him know that her boss wants to offer him a big deal, and his name was Whitmore. After that, he goes in and lets him know that he was a friend of his grandfather, the great explorer, and he also let him know that his grandfather left him a book, and supposedly, this book has the map of Atlantis written in it. So Milo gets happy and wants to show his book to the museum board so they would approve the expedition and fund him. But Whitmore tells him they won't approve it either. He told him, "But I am willing to fund you," and told him that a long time ago he promised his grandfather that he would fund the expedition if they found this book. "But your grandfather died right after we found the book." He said, "I am still keeping my promise, and I will fund this expedition, but for you specifically." He started telling him about his grandfather and told him that his grandfather was also a great explorer and was working like him in the museum. And every year he would also propose to them to fund him, but the exact same story, they wouldn't agree. He said, "So we need a crew to start our journey." And it turns out he has everything ready and prepared, a full crew for him. He told him that these are the ones who actually found the book, and told him that the team has been complete for a long time, but they were just missing a manuscript expert like him. After that, Whitmore takes him to the submarine he prepared for the journey and introduces him to the team leader, whose name is Rourke. Then Whitmore said goodbye to them, and they all enter the submarine to start their journeys searching for Atlantis. Milo meets one of the team members named Molière and lets him know that he is a soil expert and that he collects dirt from the whole world to study it. After that, Milo meets the team doctor, and after that, Milo goes to the leader who introduces him to the rest of the team and explains to them that right now they are supposed to reach the tunnel mentioned in the manuscripts, which is also supposed to lead them to the city of Atlantis. But while they were moving in the submarine, there were many sunken ships around them, and we learn the reason when a massive creature attacks them, and it turns out to be a machine, not a living creature. They don't stay quiet, and they strike back at, trying to attack it with their weapons. But this machine was much stronger than, and it was already about to destroy the submarine with everything in it. So everyone gathers in an escape pod, and they escape from the submarine before it gets destroyed. And they succeed in reaching the tunnel that Milo told them about, and that's how they manage to escape from the machine. After that, the team leader lets them know that most of the team died, and a lot of the equipment they had with them got destroyed. But that was no excuse, and they had to keep going with what they had and work twice as hard to make up for those who died. They start moving and find that the tunnel is blocked by a huge rock. So Molière, the soil expert, tries to break through it using his weapons, and he actually succeeds. After that, the team rests for a bit, and they set up a camp for themselves and sit down to eat. So Milo tells them that the book mentioned something called the Heart of Atlantis, and that he sees this as definitely the energy source. But the strange thing is that it wasn't mentioned again in the book after that. At the time they were getting ready to sleep, one of the female team members asked Milo about his grandfather, so he told her that he was the one who raised him after his parents died, and that he was a famous scientist and a very beautiful personality. He also asked her and said, "Why did you end up a mechanic?" So she told him that her father wanted to have a boy to work with him in mechanics, so she decided to be the boy her father never had. After they finished and went to sleep, strange creatures come and search through their stuff. So Milo wakes up from the sounds of their movement, but these creatures can disappear, and Milo doesn't see them. After that, he finds glowing insects filling the place around him, and these insects started attacking them and set fire to their tents. So the team runs quickly to cross the bridge and escape from the place. But the bridge collapses with their trucks, and the whole team falls downward, and it turns out they are now inside a dormant volcano. But the creatures capture Milo, and it turns out they are not creatures at all, and all of them are normal people. But they were wearing armor that made them look like that. One of them finds out that Milo is injured, so she puts her hands on the wound, and right away the wound heals quickly. So Milo was surprised and amazed by what he saw, but he didn't have time to talk to her because the team used their digger and was coming toward them, so they escaped from the place quickly. So Milo and his team run after them, and they surprise themselves by finding a very beautiful place, and finally, they arrived at the lost city of Atlantis. At that time, the city inhabitants come out to them, and they were wearing armor, and the girl who healed Milo before speaks to them. So Milo speaks with her in their ancient language, but it turns out this girl speaks many languages, including English and Spanish. So now they all understood each other, and this girl welcomes them to their city. After that, she takes them to meet her father, and her father, the king of the city, gets annoyed with her and tells her, "How can you bring strangers all the way here?" and told her, "You know the law very well. No one is allowed to leave here alive after seeing our city." So she told him that they could help them with their problem, but he doesn't agree and tells her that they don't need help from anyone. So the leader of the team that is with Milo tells the king of the city that they are explorers and scientists, but the king still requests them to leave. So they ask permission from the king of the city to rest today, and they will leave first thing tomorrow. So the king had no choice and agreed. After that, the girl started talking to her father and told him that they could help the people who are going to die of hunger, but her father did not agree and told her, "You will understand the reason when you become a leader in my place one day." So Milo's team talks to him, and they try to convince him to go talk to the girl named Kida to find out the reasons for her father's refusal to let them stay. Indeed, after that, Milo goes to talk to Kida, and they agree that each one of them asks the other about their world so they can understand each other more. So Milo asks her how their city sank and reached the bottom of the ocean. So Kida let him know that a huge natural disaster happened, and it is what brought their city to the bottom of the ocean. She also told him that she saw her mother as she was going up in a big cloud of light, and it turns out Kida's age is around 8,000 years, and this is their normal lifespan. After that, Kida asked him and said, "How did you guys reach us?" So Milo introduces her to the book that was with him. So she told him that she doesn't know how to read, and that they lost their knowledge a long time ago. When she finds out that Milo knows how to read their language, she takes him with her to an old vehicle of theirs, and he keeps trying to read what is written on it until they finally succeed in starting it. After that, Kida takes him to a very high place to show him their city from above, and after that, they keep walking around for a bit in the city. And Milo was telling her about his grandfather, the great explorer, and told her that he wished he could be with him right now. So Kida asks him to help them and translate for them the words written on the sunken parts of the city. Indeed, they go down under the water, and he tells her that these words talk about the heart of Atlantis, and this was also mentioned in the book that was with him. And the energy of the heart of Atlantis is what is keeping them alive until now. But Kida and her people do not know where this heart of Atlantis is located. After they finished and came out of the water, they get surprised that Milo's team is waiting for them, and they had weapons with them. And at that time, Milo learns that they are not scientists at all, and turned out to be a gang, and they are looking for the magic crystal that operates the heart of Atlantis. So Milo tells them and says that this energy is what is keeping the people of Atlantis alive, and if we take it from them, all of them will die. So the gang leader threatens him that he will kill Kida if they don't tell him where the place is. After that, they take Kida and go to her father. So Milo tells them that the book says the energy exists in the eye of the king of the land, and there was a shape drawn in the book. After that, they find the exact same shape existing in front of them in the city. So they all go over there, and they all stand on the rock that exists in the eye. And they discover that the rock moves and goes down with them. And finally, they found the heart of Atlantis. But the heart started drawing Kida by her necklace, and Kida now changed and became entirely made of energy. Right away, the gang locks her up and took her with them, and they left Milo in the city. But a part of the team refused to leave Milo, so the gang leader left them, took the rest of his gang and Kida, and walked away from the place. And after that, they blew up the bridge that was connecting the city to the other side. After that, the king of Atlantis started telling them what happened with Kida, and he tells them that the heart of Atlantis chooses someone with royal blood. The king says that he hid the truth because the heart of Atlantis takes a human host when the city is in danger, and that's what happened to Kida's mother. He tells Milo that Kida will be lost forever if she stays with the gang, and he begs him to save his daughter and save their civilization. Then the king passes away after giving Milo his crystal necklace, and Milo gets really angry and decides he won't let the gang get away with this. Milo talks to the remaining team members who stayed with him and convinces them to fix the flying ancient vehicles using their crystals. They actually manage to fly the vehicles, and they take off to chase the gang before they can escape through the volcano. They catch up to them, and a massive battle begins in the air between Milo's friends and the gang's soldiers. The gang leader, Rourke, gets Kida inside a giant hot air balloon and tries to lift her out of the volcano. Milo jumps onto the balloon and fights Rourke face to face. And during the fight, Rourke scratches Milo with a piece of the crystal. The crystal energy turns Rourke into glass, and then he gets smashed into pieces by the balloon's propeller. Helga also falls from the balloon after Rourke betrays her, but before she dies, she shoots the balloon and makes it crash. The balloon crashes, but Milo manages to save Kida while she is still inside the container. Suddenly, the volcano starts to erupt, and a massive wave of lava begins to flood the entire city of Atlantis. Milo and the team bring Kida back to the center of the city, and she wakes up with full energy and floats into the sky. She wakes up the giant stone statues around the city, and they create a massive force field that blocks the lava completely. The lava cools down and turns into stone, and the city of Atlantis is saved from destruction. Kida returns to her normal form and drops down into Milo's arms, and she sees that her city is finally alive again. The team decides to go back to the surface, and they take a lot of gold and treasures with them, but they promise to keep the city a secret forever. Milo decides to stay in Atlantis with Kida to help her rebuild the civilization and rule the city. Back on the surface, Whitmore is happy that Milo found what he was looking for, and he keeps the secret just like he promised Milo's grandfather. The movie ends right here. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe and follow everything new.